Peace. Quick little think fast. I was a vibrate, of course. Why a lot of us going like, oh man, I've been on my journey, man. I've been doing this. I've been meditating. Why I'm still going through, these dark night of the soul moments or going through shit. You know, that because the universe loves us so much to where it's like we're gonna help you to get rid of all the fraudulent behavior that is in your subconscious. And some of it is in areas where we didn't even realize. Again, because as much as we do have an idea of what's going on here, it's still a lot that we don't, literally, I just like still use the quotations, no, in essence. But like right now, there's two types of snakes. One of them getting exposed, and we ain't talking about the Kundalini, because that's what's happening right now. You got two type of snakes that are coming out right now. You got Kundalini snakes, raising up people's spinal cords and raising up within this earthly plane, because Earth has a Kundalini as well, and chakras. Earth Kundalini is raising, our Kundalini is raising, and as our snakes are rising up, the other snakes are coming out. Again, because with Kundalini raising also becomes like a strong pineal opening and awareness, on a metaphysical level. So again, like when the pineal gland is open, we're watching, TV or talking to people, like it's no longer, us just dealing with the words. Like we could feel like the underneath intentions and vibrations behind, words and behind things, like it's no longer just seeing things at face value. Like, nah, you see the deeper essence. So now, like when your third eye open, you see a commercial about, here, take this medicine, this and that. At one time, you thought, oh yeah, this is the doctors trying to sell their medicine, or trying to help people. But then now it's like, oh shit, like nah, they constantly trying to poison people, and they doing it in a programming way because it's on TV, on commercials, like 24/7, like constantly, like, hey, take Abilify, watch a show, and then next commercial again, hey, take Abilify, and then you learn about subconscious programming, you realize, oh shit. But even without learning, again, you just open to that energy. But more so, again, what's important is also like, so not only revealing, again, as above, so below, as within, so without. First and foremost, we got certain little energies inside of us that that what we were taught, by the European society, and uh, hindering aspects taught within our own communities, within the melanated community, all that, like just any and all behavior that's not truly about our soul ascension, is being exposed. So here it is, because too, a lot of us got this idea that, oh yeah, once I started meditating and working with these crystals and things start to, look a little better, I'm done with my spiritual growth. I'm done working, like I'm good now. Like, no, it's a constant growth, you know what I'm saying? Even with being on point, it's still a constant growth and balance with, dealing with your, your every moment, you're dealing with your now, you know. But the veil is revealing the frauds and the fraudulent behavior. The veil is thinning even more and more. So, the inner frauds within us, is being exposed, Well, we're starting to realize, like, all right, maybe I want to help people more out of the idea of getting something back, and I didn't really realize it, like it was subtly, sneakily, like, like, I'm gonna help people, but it's because I'm gonna get something back from it, you know what I'm saying? Or like whatever, it could be different little things, or like, or say for instance, like, oh yeah, I love my queen, and I respect all women, this and that. But then low key in your mental, you still feel like, but I still think men rude things and this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, all them little small little areas, like we're not leaving 1%, because again, like the levels of how we ascend, want to be very clear, you don't want to have, in which there'll be levels. I do feel like there's levels to the ascension, but for the most part, like say for instance, if you holding on to anything on this realm, you're coming back. I don't care how big or small, but I still feel like there's levels on the ascension. So with that being said, you got that first level of us just making sure we don't have no energy tying us down here. But then they have that level of where how much work we did on this physical plane of raising light in our body and connecting with our higher self and oversoul, stuff like that. Because the stronger that relationship is, we may be able to step into different levels of higher dimensions depending on that, like where one of us might go to, a little higher dimension than the other. And again, there's levels to our growth, and nobody's better than the other. Again, just different levels of our growth. Some of us done been here, done that. Some of us haven't. Like it's all different levels. Just like in the schoolhouse, grades 12 through kindergarten. Like everybody's not learning the same exact thing in essence, or at the same pace. So you do have that vibe of again, like having a certain level of what like the different quote unquote seven heavens, but I don't even just these higher realms, just keep it in that perspective, because again, seeing how the mind would like, or the egoic mind, because really that would be the ego, like, oh, it's just seven, like trying to worry and figure out about how many heavens it is. Like, just worry about trying to get your soul to the motherfucker. Don't worry about how many it is. You know what I'm saying? Of course, not to say don't worry about it, but again, don't get caught up in, the little tedious aspects of information in our spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how, I speak to some people with like dealing with the past lives. It's like, all right, learn about it to use it in your now, to help your soul ascension, but not to just be to always be like, yeah, I was a mermaid, haha, this and that, and yeah, that, like just for a little again where, and so as I'm talking about fraudulent behavior being exposed on all levels, if we dealing with, looking at past lives just for that, it's gonna get exposed to us, if we kind of being egotistically attached in that area, because again, our ego is pretty good at using spirituality and hiding. Like, I bet you they won't find me, right? And just how that like, all right, he's been paying attention to me in these other areas, but I bet you if I slide in right here, he won't see me. And it's like, oh, damn, he spotted me. Because again, as we just sit back with awareness, because the moment, the moment, like say for instance, we observe in our mind and we see like those negative thoughts pop up, we just be aware of it. And our awareness, the egoic mind, like, like, oh fuck, it's like the higher self just sitting at there watching me. So again, like when we observing, the ego is smart enough to know, like, all right, let me stand down, because now, the soul is just kind of watching me and realize, like, basically it's peeping my game, so let me just shut the fuck up for right now, But then when you, again, fall back off your awareness, then it kind of sneak back again, Because matter of fact, another sneaky place, that's why I had to make sure I correct that terminology, like with ego death. It's like there's no such thing in essence. And matter of fact, that's ego itself, like, feeling like, I'm killing my ego. Like that's something against something else, or right versus wrong, right or wrong, ego. So again, these different places that it can hide, even in the spiritual growth. It's like, oh, I'm ego death. I'm killing my ego. It's like, nah, we taming our ego, but we not necessarily killing it, But all this little small aspects, these little, little things that just again, that we weren't really aware of, but all of it is coming to the light, and we gonna thank Source later, or right now, thank Source now, be grateful right now, for these lessons being brought to the light, you know, again, better, just like, again, Abraham Hicks story, like, catching, be grateful that these things is being exposed to me now, instead of my ego being tickled. Think about it like this: if you weren't being exposed to these lessons, then you would be allowed to stay in your ego, and then, when the lights cut off in Chuck E. Cheese and you still there, you're like, well, man, I was doing everything perfectly, and well, yeah, and everything seemed so good. Like, yeah, everything was good and seemed so perfect, but that was because, you weren't getting them strong lessons from your higher self because you didn't want them in essence. So you got to float, with what felt good at the moment, and you got to stay in Chuck E. Cheese while the lights off, because, the whole vibe, like, being grateful for these lessons. I rather my higher self slap me the fuck up, kick me in the ribs while I'm down. God damn it, let me see what I need to learn. Fuck it, little blood, like. But I'd rather have that ass whipping than to be stuck in this realm. you know, and to each his own. Some of us rather be stuck in this realm than to take that ass whipping from higher self. We rather be prideful about our spiritual growth and not acknowledge that we've been fucking up, like, and just be like stubborn about it, like, oh no, I wasn't doing that. I don't think I was caught up in the New Age movement. I'm gonna be stubborn about it. Well, all right. Your wish is my command. You reap what you sow. But again, the fraudulent people. So matter of fact, too, also be aware of that. If the New Age movement, like, from dealing with, Mark Passio bringing up the Church of Satan, having this plan for the New Age movement, this and that, also be aware of the next level of trickery that could be there. That's, again, disinformation has to have truth, so it's gonna have like a next level tier of things with, with a little more truth in it, but still with inconsistency. So again, we got to constantly be weeding out these things that just don't feel right with the soul, and constantly connecting with inner self, strengthening our inner guidance, that strengthening the clarity and communication with higher self, so we could really hear that voice more clearly, instead of being deterred by the egoic mind, like, because that way, when we got this stronger connection, you're not sitting here trying to harp on every word of universal frequencies, or infinite waters, or young pharaoh, or blue pill, red pill, or flight boss, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you do your, you're able to have your own guidance about the situation as well, and not always have to, because again, you have to have your inner strength up, because what you do if your computer broke today, you know what I'm saying? Or we get to a point where we not no longer using computers because we done stepped to the next level of, like, all right, we got to really get rid of this energy that's hindering us. So let's say we all agree upon, like, throwing away our tablets and shit like that. Then what you gonna do when you don't have no inner guidance? Ooh, and that's a download, because then we might have to step to that level, you know like getting rid of these electronics and stuff like that. But if you ain't got no inner guidance, you're like, oh shit, bro, I gotta watch a video with Ralph Smart before I do this, but I ain't got no, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't become too dependent on external information. It helps, but again, there's a certain level of inner guidance, and it's a balance, because I saw myself, again, taking myself to a place of trying to be like just intuition, and it's like, all right, now, of course you want to strengthen your intuition, strengthen your psychic ability, but it's also, tapping into the logic as well, because intelligence is the intellect, and forgot the other word, but it's the logic and the intuitive sides of the brain coming together, you know. As a matter of fact, as I'm speaking on this imbalance and stuff like that, might as well bring up too. Again, along with my video, go check out that video where I talk about the sacral chakra being under attack and how, you know, these people is attacking the sacral chakra and attacking your emotions. And also too, again, like with the new age movement, like they trying to promote the divine feminine in such a way where you get lopsided by it, where you just all the way in your emotions, all the way in that intuitive side, you know, not using the fullness of your intelligence and using your intellect and logic as well. Because matter of fact, the imbalance in the left and the right brain opens people up for mind control. So again, that's why with MK Ultra, again, check out my movie with my video about the movie Eyes Wide Shut, and how they talk about initiation through movies, you know. But where I speak on how, like with the mirrors, like the personification of a broken mirror, when they have it in movies, and you know, just with the MK Ultra and mind control vibes, it's like they're trying to split your psyche, because you know, like when you look at your full reflection, you know, it's full, you know, all aspects one, but then it's broken down the mirror, then it's like separate little scattered sections of your psyche, and that's what they try to do, is just shatter your psyche, you know, and create an internal battle, which creates an external, you know, like if you shit battling inside of you, then you're gonna interact with the world externally in the manner of that battle that's going on inside of you, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I see one of their tactics where, you know, say for instance, is a certain type of vibe of making me mad. Like, it's hard to explain. I'm gonna get to it, but but you know, again, with an imbalance in your left and right brain, you know, energy, or imbalance in the mind, body, and soul, or imbalance in the thoughts, emotions, and actions, you know, that could throw things off, you know. And again, like that pineal, the bridge in between the hemispheres of the brain and that heart, the bridge in between the higher and the lower nature, you know. And again, you also see like cardinal directions, you know, east, west, north, south, you know, the heart, the bridge between north and south, the pineal, the bridge between east and west, in essence, you know. Because matter of fact, nope, I'm not gonna get into that. But again, everything is about trying to throw you in an imbalanced state. So be aware of anybody that's trying to, like, say for instance, and people know with my interactions with me, like, you know, I don't give off the vibe of like I'm trying to coach you to be like me. Like, all right, you really should do this, and you should act like this, or you should, like, you know, compared to when you come around some people that's trying to, like, they overly trying to influence you to think like them or do things in a way, you know. And because these people are smart with it, they know how to suggest it without overly doing it, you know. But you could feel a vibe of like they're trying to kind of get me to, you know, imbalance myself in this, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, because again, when you out of balance, you know, and in most cases they're trying to have you in an imbalance more so in your feminine side, but they do have, you know, they got shit to work with you if you on the other side, if you like the overlogical side too, you know, they know how to deal with that too. Overlogic too is like a scientist. Matter of fact, that's why most scientists don't really understand the fullness of our existence, because they want to be all the way logical, like, you know, left brain, only if I have evidence of it, this and that, you know what I'm saying? But yet, you know, if I give a scientist or somebody who's scientific minded a glass of water, they drink it. It's like, well, hold on, you know, you didn't test that water to prove that it was H2O before you drunk it. So you must have used some type of intuitive insight, you know, that allowed for you to trust that that was water, you know. The fullness of that intellect, you know. But again, that imbalance is where they're trying to have everybody, you know, thrown off, and with your emotions, that sacral chakra, you know, when you emotional and not, you know, because then you're not using discernment, you know. No matter of fact, the pregnant lady analogy, you know, give me some hot sauce and pickles with some eggs. Oh, you took too long, I don't want it no more. You know, this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, again, not knocking the, you know, the energy of the mama. Again, like I said in the other video when I made that joke, look, blessings to y'all for holding us down for them 9 months, you know. Again, and seeing the energy that goes in that, well, man allowed to run away from that situation, you know. Like, again, not knocking the male's balance importance, but the women, man, gotta give the kudos what kudos have been constantly taken away from. But yeah, that imbalance in the brain, is how they create that little avenue to be able to open you up. And again, keying in on your sacral chakra, because that deals with your emotional, sexual energy, your friendliness, so that throws off, again, when you over emotional, that's going to throw off your thoughts and your actions. You're able to be controlled from that place, so be aware. But peace. Happy now to vibrate, of course. And remember, the veil lifting, and again, it's the inner fraudulent behavior within ourselves. So don't feel like, oh shit, what's going on is the universe loves you, your high self loves you so much to show you that, hey, there's still some bullshit lingering within you that you might want to get out, because due to you just feeling comfortable with this certain whatever information that you've been given, you haven't realized that there's still some more work to do in certain areas, so just be aware of that. Peace. Happy now. Now the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace.